Hey guys, happy Sunday. How's everyone doing? Just gonna set my camera right, make sure it's good. So, I can't believe I made it. I am so tired. Just drove back up from the cottage. It's the weekend. It was my friend's birthdays, and I have just been like so exhausted. But I made a commitment to be here every Sunday at 4 p.m. so I can answer you guys' questions that you sent me throughout the week, and that's what we're gonna do. So excuse my raspy voice. It's just from all the allergies and being tired. But we're here. We're gonna be answering questions, answering your questions that you sent me throughout the week. So, a quick introduction. Hi guys, my name is Janie, aka Ganaj, and welcome to Forge Your Life with Me. If you're new, where have you been? But if you're returning and you're subscribed, thank you. And the few people who are on here right now, as I am live, it means you have turned on your notifications to let YouTube let you know when I'm on here live or uploading new content. And because of that, I'm going to say thank you. And if you haven't done that, please click the bell notification so you do not miss any live Q&A sessions, okay? Thank you. So, because I'm trying to improve on this experience and make it more clear, concise, and straight to the point. I'm just gonna go straight into who sent me questions, what the questions are, or like the themes for today, and we can talk about that more in detail. Like I'm gonna go around and answer those questions. Okay. So, sorry, my iPad's messing up. That's why I have all the questions on. Perfect. I'm sorry about that. So, real quick, if you have questions about coming to Canada, studying in Canada, living in Canada, issues you might face, send them to me at byenaj@gmail.com, byenaj@gmail.com, or you can add me up on Instagram at byenaj and just DM me your questions. And I'm going to answer them at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Sunday. Good. So today's questions were sent by Chukwudi, Shibomi, Shieka, and Ugochukwu. I hope I'm saying your names right. I'm so sorry if I am not. I'm going to be answering Shalewa also, Ambrose's, Mojirade, Romuald, and Carolina from Instagram. So, and the major themes from today are what the difference between postgraduate certificates are and diplomas, and how to get accommodation or a place to stay from outside Canada before you arrive, as well as how to get a PhD in Canada and scholarships, and what guarantee investment certificates are, GICs, and as well as how to be a nurse. And if you're in 11th grade, if you're in the 11th grade, I've got to turn my thing off. I just hope no one calls me. Anyways, and if you're in the 11th grade and thinking law school, what you should start doing. So, I'm just going to go right into the questions, okay? So, the first question I got is how to get accommodation in Canada before you get here. So I'm assuming you've all settled out your study permit or your work permit or whatever it is. So there's two accommodation options: the permanent ones and a temporary solutions. Permanent could be rent or actually buying out a place, and temporary would mean hostels or a hotel or an Airbnb before you come. So my usual advice is some people just want to go outright and rent a place before. Guys, I'm so sorry. This is rude. Let me just turn this off. How did I forget to do this? Sorry. So, this is still straight. So, my usual advice is not to go in and get a semi-permanent place like a rent or buy a house when you haven't seen the place physically, right? So, my usual advice is for you to get a hostel, an Airbnb, or a hotel for the first 2 weeks to a month when you get here. However, you should start making plans to talk to like rent owners or apartment owners or condo owners for where you're gonna stay. Below this video, I'm gonna drop a link on sites where you can look for places to rent, as well as places you can look for hostels and temporary residences like that. You can check things like Kijiji, Craigslist. Um, excuse me, it's really hot. Bonds, and there's other immigrant serving organizations depending on where you are. The government of Canada has a website where if you're a newcomer in Canada, you can check immigrant serving organizations close to you that would provide places like temporary accommodation for when you get here. Okay, I hope that helps. Again, I'm going to drop a link down below. If you're watching this when it's post live recording, please remember to give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Just tell me how you feel, and then I would implement feedback as we go. Okay. So the next question, and the most important one, because I got four of this question across the week, is what the difference between a postgraduate certificate and a diploma is in Canada, and if you can do your master's after a diploma. Thank you, Anderson Clark. And if you can do a diploma after if you can do a master's after your diploma, I'm so sorry, guys. This person is wondering about PR concerns, because the notion is if you do 1 year of postgraduate certificate, you only get 1 year of work permit, which might not be enough time to work to actually get a job and work to apply for your PR. So I'm going to answer the question what the difference is between a postgraduate certificate and the diploma is. So starting with a diploma is a post-secondary certification, so to speak, that you take when you're done with like high school. Maybe you don't want to do university. Maybe you want to do something more. Oh my gosh, sorry guys. Maybe you want to do something more specific to a trade or an industry. You can take a diploma in it. However, oh, you're welcome, Aish. Sorry guys, I'm getting distracted by live chats. But please show me your questions. I'll see how much I can answer them today. So, however, if you have a bachelor's degree already, you've gone to university, there's no point in taking a diploma except you want to like take something else and switch up your career path. Even if you want to do that, my advice and what I tell everyone is to do one or two things or one of three things. Take a postgraduate certificate, because you need an undergraduate degree to do a postgraduate certificate, or a postgraduate diploma or a master's degree. So certain concerns will be not having not meeting the requirements for a master's degree. You can do a postgraduate certificate, not a diploma. A diploma usually is like a degree equivalent for people who are done with high school or secondary schools. Let me know if that explanation helps you. If not, please leave your question or for more clarification in the comment box down below, okay? But just so you know, none of them is better, because you're asking if a diploma or graduate certificate is better. None is better than the other. It depends on what you want to do with your career path, okay? Good. And if you guys are not, if my explanation is not as clear and you want to know what other alternatives you have, I would also drop a link below that you can, do further research on. Okay, so the next question is about guarantee investment certificates, GIC programs, what they are, what I know about it, and I'm going to tackle that first. It's a three-part question. So the first thing I know about GICs is that I know a couple banks, roughly what it is you deposit a certain amount of money, say about 10,000 Canadian dollars, and over the course, if you're planning to study here, and over the course of your study period, you are paid back your money in installments with some interest. And there's other perks, like you get a credit card when you come here, you already have a bank account, you get some free movies if you do it with, say, Scotiabank, because most of the friends I know use Scotiabanks for their GIC programs. And for a lot of countries, it makes sense because you just send the money forth and then they deal with a lot of issues for you. So, but however, what I know or what I read about, like say through Scotiabank of Canada, is they only accept the GIC program from students coming from China, India, Vietnam, or the Philippines. So if you're not from those four countries, there's a probability you will not be taken into the GIC program, at least with Scotiabank, to the best of my knowledge. So the second question is, she hasn't. This person has an accounting degree and wants to do a general business administration diploma, and is asking if a diploma she might get rejected. If her study permit will get rejected if she does a diploma after she has an accounting degree. So the truth is, you want to show the immigration officers, look, I'm not just looking for a get into Canada card. I'm trying to study and advance myself in my career. So sometimes it's twisted for an immigration officer to see that someone has a bachelor degree and now they're trying to go step back and take a diploma. It's a different thing if you're trying to switch what you did. Like say I did something in the sciences and I want to be a business person, and I'm like, you know what? I already have a science degree and now I want to take a business diploma and start again. That might not, and you can always add that in your letter of explanation when you're applying for your study permit. Other than that, like I said earlier on, if you have a degree in a certain field, you can just do a postgraduate diploma or a postgraduate certificate. That's what I usually advise, and it will not raise any red flags when you're applying to your study permit. Okay. Um, oh, I forgot. Okay, Courage, I'm going to answer your question when I'm done with all these pre-sent questions. Okay, I hope that helps. I'm sorry. So something else I also advise people, and I forgot to do this, is my disclaimer at every shot of the video. Remember, I'm not your one source to immigration or school advice. Please always check with an immigration officer or the school you're trying to apply to. Okay, cool. Okay, so the next question is, I have a GPA of 3.25 from an electronic engineering course, and I want to do my master's. This is not enough for a master's, but what else can I do? Um, and okay, is 7 million naira enough for your PR? Okay, so just know that the thing is, like I did two different postgraduate certificates. There are postgraduate certificates and diplomas that are more than 1 year. So I know in Humber, there's the global business management or the marketing management course that's about 2 years. Also, you can do two different ones. You can finish one and graduate and do another one if you're trying to get a 3 year work permit. Otherwise, I know people also who have done just 1 year of postgraduate certificate. Before they got done with your schooling, they try to secure a job. And that way, if you have a job offer, it's going to only be, you only need to work 1 year full time. And because you already have a job before your work permit starts, you will be, that 1 year work permit will be sufficient enough for you to apply for your permanent residency. So it's one of two things. If you're at the end of your first year and you haven't gotten a job, you have to apply to second postgraduate certificate or postgraduate diploma, if so that you don't risk the chances of being sent back for not having enough work time. Something else you should also know too is you can extend your work permit if you have work. So say I only did 1 year postgraduate certificate and I got a 1 year work permit, which makes sense. I only did 1 year. And then I got a job 4 months down the line after my work permit has been running. So now I have like 8 more months. And I worked 8 months in the company, and now my work permit is coming to an end. At that point, I can apply for an extension of my work permit because I'm still working, I'm gainfully employed. I've just not met the requirements to apply for a permanent residency yet. What would not make sense is if you don't have a job at that 8 month period or that 12 month period and then you want to apply for an extension. The government's going to be like, why? Doesn't make sense. Okay, cool. So I hope that answers your question. Also, if you have, so 7 million naira for a permanent residency might not be enough, but the hope is that when you get here, you're going to work more. Because I think it depends on the stream you're going to. If you're doing the federal skilled worker program, which means that you have experience in the industry before, at least 1 year full-time experience, that's a different amount you'd require. But if you're doing a Canadian experience class, you don't require that much money. You're like very much Canadian in that sense. So you don't need to prove that you have funds to support you. You just need to prove that you've been here a while. Say you've studied or you've worked here, and they would not require 12,000 Canadian. I'm not gonna go too much into detail about permanent residency. I'm gonna make a special video, another video about that. Okay, cool. Oh my God, guys, I'm trying to do less than 20 minutes today because I don't want this to be too long. And if I don't answer your questions again, I apologize. I'm gonna get to it. Okay. Um, okay, so diploma versus certificate question came up again. And why are my chats not staying longer than... Okay, I'm going to go through the chats after. So diploma versus certificate question came up again. That's done. So just so you know, like I said, do a postgraduate diploma or postgraduate certificate. And if you have a degree, that helps your master's. And like sometimes some schools, depending after your postgraduate program and you want to do a master's, they just need to know that you did a bachelor's degree. But I know they're going to ask for a transcript, but your transcript from your most recent graduation, which is your certificate, would matter more than your bachelor's because, of course, you can't do a master's without a bachelor's degree. But again, it's very dependent on the school. So my advice is always call the school, get on the phone and be like, this is what I have. Can I apply? And then they'll let you know. Okay. So yes, your bachelor's degree from Nigeria counts. That's the Shalewa. Also, she's asking for examples of business courses she can do for postgraduate course or postgraduate diploma. So I know you can do public relations, you can do advertising. There are postgraduate courses in accounting, in global business management. There's marketing management. There's digital marketing in itself. There's business administration separately as a postgraduate course. There's also web development. There's an array of them. So I made a top 10 colleges video. I'm going to link it up. You can go check it. Just go through, or you go through Ontario colleges or something like that, and just go through their business management courses. I'm just going to put a link down below because I got you. I'm going to help you like go through all the schools that offer business management courses as on the postgraduate level in Ontario or even in Canada. I got you. Okay, so working in Canada with an accounting degree, this is another question. How to get work opportunity. Do you have experience practicing accounting in the field? That's a different thing, because if you have experience, it's usually easier to get a job. Also, what I always tell people is when you get here, you have to like network to get a job. You gotta join professional bodies and organizations. Like in accounting specifically, you gotta join like a CPA. And like I say, coming to Canada, I think schooling is the best option because your classmates are your first Canadian network who'll probably help you get a job or help you, advance in the future or get promoted or something like that. So schooling usually gives you that leg up and that Canadian experience for when you need to apply to your PR. So again, it's harder to decide because the question is kind of vague about working in Canada with an accounting degree. It differs. It depends if you're coming for your PR, or just you want to come work straight, or you want to study. If you want to come work straight, it's usually harder because you have to get a job offer from your home country before you move. So usually study or just apply to your PR, maybe. Um, okay, three more questions before I can actually get to the. Oh, I might not make it, guys. Three more questions. This is a lot. Thank you, because it's good that we have conversations about this, but it's a lot. She wants to study. She wants to get a BSc in nursing, but her agent says she's 30 and it's too old to come to Canada. First of all, I don't think anybody should be telling you you're too old for anything. Okay? Okay? Okay, so I don't think it's too late to school. I have classmates in my master's program that are 60 or nearing 60. So, but I don't know if it differs because they're Canadian or whatever. However, I advise you to call the schools you're interested in, get on the phone with school, and ask them like, "Hey, I'm 30 and I'm trying to get into nursing. Is this normal? Do people get in?" And you hear what they have to say. Only thing is, once you have your admission letter and from the school and you have sufficient proof of funds, you should be fine. It's okay to study at 30. But I actually right now have a friend at UTM, which is University of Toronto, Mississauga, who is in psychology and biology. She has a 34-year-old Brazilian classmate who is international. So you can do it. I'm going to run through this. This person wants a PhD in Canada and is asking for how easy it is to get a scholarship. And if yes, which ones? So what I understand about PhDs in Canada, real quick, from my own experience talking to people who I know who have PhDs, is usually the way to get a PhD is finding a supervisor or finding a research topic you're interested in, shortlisting the supervisors, and you can do the quick Google search. And when you research this professor, you gotta email them separately and be like, "Hey, I wanna research with you on this." And when you get a response, you probably can get in. And the way PhDs, to the best of my knowledge, at least in Ontario, work is you get paid to do your PhD. So it's like you get paid a certain stipend or funding package every month. Out of that, or not every month, I think you just pay, I don't remember the frequency, but from that money you pay tuition, and from you get like maybe $700 left. That's what my PhD friend tells me that you'd have for cost of living. But I realize what she said also is that there's been less intakes of international PhD candidates because Canada is trying to home grow their own PhD students. So it might be a little hard to get it now because she got her PhD. She got into her PhD program 3 years ago. So I wish you the best, and I hope I answered your question. Okay, so we have 1 more minute. She's asking that this next question is about she's in 11th grade. She's graduating on an FCE level and wants to start law school in December. So personal advice on where to start. Okay, and I'm happy you're starting now because it's never too early to start thinking about it. So good luck and you go. However, I think you should start looking into, I don't know your specific case, but I know like with people I know who are international students, they went through international high schools and only did grade 12 again because their credentials from their home countries did not exactly transfer to Canadian credentials. So I think that might be something to look into. And schools like this include, and the ones I know about, there's Bronte College, there's Columbia International College or something like that, and there's a list of international colleges you might have to go through. However, Um, you could also do a hybrid of both, like applying to those high schools and applying straight to universities. But like I always say, call the school and get it out, and make sure like you can apply with your Brazilian credentials from high school. So that's all the questions I have pre-saved. I'm gonna go into the chat real quick and see what I can answer in this live session. Okay, guys? I'm sorry we're running out of time. It's already past the 20-minute mark. So let me see what we have here. Okay, Anderson's asking about electrical engineering, and he has an associate degree. I don't know what you're asking there. What do you mean? Sorry. So send me an email with more clarification and I can answer that. I'm in my third year studying computer engineering. I'll be writing GRE this summer, and I want to know if there are any scholarship prospects in the STEM field for masters. Yes, there are. I did a video on scholarships for international students. Please check that. And what do I usually say about scholarships? There's fewer for international students than there are for Canadians, but you should also not give up. Try. Check that video up. I'm going to leave a link down below. I need a master's in pharmacy. How can I go about it, and how much is the money involved? I'm Nigerian, presently in India for my BSc in pharmacy. I'm in my final year. I don't know so much about pharmacy, to be honest. But like I always say, try to find a school that does pharmacy. But I don't think it works like that. I think in Canada, med school, you could do any science program and then apply to med school after. You just have to write the exams. But I don't know if pharmacy is really different from that. So I'm really sorry if I can help you in that one. Global management program of 18 months from uni. Am I qualified for a 3 years work permit? No, I'm afraid not. I think, so the way it works is it's up until so if it's 1 year, you get 1 year. Anything more than 1 year, you get up to the equivalent of exactly how much you studied. So if it's 18 months, you get 18 months work permit. Some officers might give you 2 years. It depends on the immigration officer, okay? Hope that answers your question. Is it possible to get scholarships as an international student for postgraduate certificate programs? The only one I know about is they give entrance scholarships where you don't have to apply to. But again, it depends on the school, okay? At this point, guys, I'm going to have to round it up. I'm so sorry if I didn't answer your question in detail. I'm really trying here, but the time is going too long. And thank you guys so much for joining me today on this live session about coming, living, studying, and working in Canada. And remember to turn on your bell notifications so you don't miss next week's episode. And you can also DM me your questions at bayanaj on Instagram or bayanaj@gmail.com in email. And I'll see you next week on Sunday. And you can also catch up on my videos that will give you more information to these questions you've been asking. Thank you so much and have a blessed week, guys. You are awesome and you're making the right decision with your life no matter what you think. Okay? Whew. Thanks, guys. Bye. It's not working.